Hello, and welcome to Help We're Graduates. What are we calling it, Jamie? Lockdown special?
Yeah, Lockdown 3.0 special, yeah.
Yeah, basically, we have recorded an episode, and I've planned a couple more, but because of Lockdown 3.0 and other reasons, which we will get into in the podcast, we have not been able to record and put out any more.
That is true.
So yeah, everything's got a little bit crazy, hasn't it?
It has. It's gone that crazy that we've not said our names, so
Oh my
just
God,
going to
yeah.
throw that out there. I'm Jamie,
And I'm Matt.
and you're listening to Help We're Graduates.
Yeah, it's just chaotic. It is chaotic. Yeah, as Jamie said, this is Help We're Graduates. This is the podcast that we made in the summer of last year.
Yeah, summer
2020.
2020. Yeah.
And it was basically all about life after graduation, and we spoke to some people who've done different things, and we spoke about our experiences and kind of just made sure that people felt good about themselves, I suppose, is the main thing.
Yeah, because it was in a time when we were feeling quite lost and bad about ourselves, so we wanted to sort of connect with other people, and we got some good feedback, and a lot of people like the podcast, so thank you for listening. And if you're listening to this one, thank you for still being here.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, because obviously we haven't updated it in a while. We haven't put any episodes out. So to start with, basically, shall we just sort of explain the situation now and what's going on?
Yeah, so the last episode went out. When did the last episode go out now? Is it like September?
Oh God, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we were sort of doing one every week, weren't we?
Yeah.
We ended up doing 10 episodes, which is crazy, to be fair. That was good going, for me and Matt just chatting and you guys listening. Thank you very much again,
Yeah.
But then, yeah, we said we'd like end season 1 there and we'd take a break, and then we were going to start season 2 with some new, fresh ideas. And like Matt said, we went away and we did actually manage to record an episode, but we haven't aired that episode yet because I just don't feel like we felt like the time was right for that, Matt. Do you think?
Yeah.
And like everything else that's been going on, and we, like Matt said, we had things planned, but it's just not came to the forefront yet. Simply because, and this is probably where Matt comes in and tells everyone your story, Matt.
Yeah. So back in, I'd have said probably September, I was speaking to my friend, and he was like, "I'm moving back up to Manchester. Would you like to come with?" And to start with, I was like, "No, I don't want to do that just yet. Pandemic and all that. We were coming out of lockdown. No, we weren't. We'd come out of lockdown, but we were in tier 4, was it? Tier 3? I can't remember. Tier 2, maybe?
Tier 7? I don't know.
I don't even know. Tier 2, yeah. So I was like, no. And then I thought, do you know what? Actually, it'll be good. The country started to open back up. We can start to do more things. Why not?
This was September.
Yeah, this was September. I was like, why not take a leap and just try something? And I had a couple of job interviews. I've been applying for so many jobs, and I had a couple of interviews, and I thought, wow, this is going to be it. This is going to be, I'm going to get this job in Salford. I'm going to move up. And so I said, yeah, and signed the lease and everything like that. And then due to move in November, and then lockdown 2, happened, and I was like, oh my God.
Do you know, when you just said that, I had a couple of I thought you were going to say I had a couple of gins and then agreed to it. We had some job interviews.
I had a couple of job interviews, and I thought, you know what, this is good. The country's opening back up. The pandemic is starting to not ease off, but it wasn't quite as bad. We weren't in a lockdown at that point, and I thought, yeah, do you know what, good idea. I'm going to move up. I've got these job interviews. I'm bound to get one of them. I know it's like hindsight's a wonderful thing because I didn't get them. And yeah, so I moved up to Salford in November, halfway through.
During lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown 2.
2. Yeah, so
moved myself up.
Because you were basically, your last sort of shift at the company was like end of October, and then you were like, that's it, and I'm going to Manchester. I think you're going on the 14th of November, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so. Something around that
like
date.
That.
Yeah. Just after my sister's birthday.
I just remember it being smack bang in the middle of November because obviously we were in that lockdown for that whole month.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, as if you're moving to Manchester in the middle of a lockdown, literally in the middle like of like a month-long lockdown.
Yeah.
But and fair play to you, and you did it, and you've enjoyed it, haven't you, in some parts?
Yeah, I've enjoyed most of it. Yeah, it's so nice to be back. Like you go from university where you're living with friends and you look after yourself, and then you go back home after uni, and it's like, oh my God, it feels like it's never happened. So to come back to living in Salford, I know the area, I've got friends, I'm living with mates, and yeah, I've enjoyed it for the most part. However, this is the big thing. However, I haven't actually got a full-time job, and I've really struggled to find work. I have got a freelance thing that I'm doing. I'm editing some audio for a company, I'm editing video for a company, and I'm adminning webinars for a company. So I have got money coming in, and it's not like I'm not struggling or anything. Like I can pay my bills and my rent and all that, but it isn't where I want to be. And lockdown is hard. We can't really leave. You can go out for exercise and food, and that's it. So I have been struggling a little bit. But you've also started things, haven't you, Jamie? Things have changed for you as well.
Yeah. So I don't even know where it came from, really. I started a little rental hot tub company thing. And basically, I went to my sister's in the summer when she got engaged, and she hired a hot tub off this company. I thought that's quite a good idea, actually. You can they come and they set it all up, and they didn't even like bring all the lights and stuff. And I think she paid like 170 quid just for the hot tub.
Wow.
I was like, that's not just for a weekend as well. And I was like, that's a good business idea, like because a lot of people don't like the idea of like having to maintain the hot tub themselves. So we come, we deliver it, they enjoy it, then we take it away, all that sort of stuff. It's a lot, it can be a bit of work, but anyway, yeah. So I just thought there's a gap in the market at the moment. People can't go out and do things. What can you bring to people's houses? So you can bring a hot tub, and so I went away and we sourced hot tubs and gazebos, and we've had quite a story with gazebos, which I'll tell you about in a sec. but and then we sourced the lights and stuff, and then did some social media marketing, and it's just we launched it in November, like when the second lockdown happened, because we were like, this is rather going to be make or break, because we had to sort of check with the government website if we could still continue to do that sort of line of work, and it turns out that we could, and other companies were continuing as well. So it was sort of like it's rather going to be absolutely like chocker because people can't do anything else, or it's going to be we can't do it at all. And luckily, it was the first one. So yeah, it just sort of steadied along up until Christmas, and then since Christmas it's just absolutely blew up. Like it's really mental. Like I can get like last Monday, for instance. Mondays are always really popular for some reason. I get like 50 messages and stuff, and it's crazy.
Wow.
To be So we're fully booked for like February now, and we've expanded the business and brought a second setup and a second tub and everything. So in terms of that, yeah, that's good. But still, obviously, not what I want to be doing in the long run. But I just thought, what's something that people can't do at the moment that I can maybe bring to their house? And it's sort of like events. So it's sort of what I want to do in the long run, because it's like planning events for people in a way, I guess. And it's nice to sort of deliver something for people's birthdays in lockdown. But yeah, in terms of gazebos, the wind's my worst nightmare now. We had a bit of there was a storm earlier this week, and the gazebo didn't really withstand the storm. Bless it. I know, but now we've learned from that, and we have heavy duty gazebos now, which are absolutely solid. So yeah, so it's all learning curves and stuff. But yeah, it was just something that I was like, what can I do? A bit like you, Matt. You're like, right, I got this opportunity. Do I stay at home and like sit around again with the idea of us going into a second and then third lockdown? Or do I do something a bit different and try something? And it was a gamble. Obviously, you didn't know if it was going to take off, and it was a bit steady for the first like sort of month, and we didn't have that much interest. But then I don't know what happened. Like, well, bit of promotion and stuff, and delivered a few posters around town, and it just sort of went off from there.
Oh, cool. I have just realised I need to apologise. I was recording through the wrong microphone. For the intro and stuff. I've been recording through I think it was through my headphones, I don't know, but I've just switched over to my proper mic now, so the audio quality should have improved quite a lot. I did wonder why. I was trying to adjust it to make myself a bit louder, and it wasn't going any louder, and I was just like, oh, this is weird. But yeah, I'm back now, so sorry about that. Carry on.
Nice, cool. No, that's everything really. I think so. Well, that happened, and then I think on the episode that didn't go, that we haven't put out yet, I explained that while I was at uni, actually linking it back to uni, I managed to do some work at the Leicester Comedy Festival as part of my course, and I got in contact with, well, I was artist liaison for this group, Scriptless in Seattle, and they were they were an improvisation group who came to the comedy festival, and they were a comedy and they were hilarious. But I had this woman message me out of the blue being like, "Hi, do you remember me from like 3 years ago? I remember you," and and then we got talking, and I ended up basically doing the social media for her, and so yeah, that's just an example of something like if you make an impact in uni, people you meet outside of uni, within the industry, how they might come back around 3 years later. It was a massive shock for me. She just called me up one day and was like, "Do you want to like? How are you with social media? I'm really rubbish at social media, and I can't flyer anymore because of COVID. So, can you please, how do you feel about doing my social media for me?" So, I did that. So that's cool. Good.
That's really cool.
And then she's messaged me this week because she's obviously applying to theatres to get her show out to different theatres, and she wanted me to do like a spreadsheet of like all the information of the different theatres and all that sort of stuff. And again, she's like homeschooling, and she's got a job, and she's obviously trying to run this production, get this production on its feet in a pandemic. So she hasn't got the time basically. So I've got the time. So she's asked me to do that, and she can pay me some extra for that. So
nice.
A bit like, so it's sort of like what you're doing, Matt, with like the freelance stuff, but for that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a bit like as and when. But yeah, it's good fun, and it's made me realise that I actually really, really love the idea of working in like social media. Like I wouldn't mind a job in social media. It's cool because you can do it from your phone, and so the idea would be if I could go travelling eventually, I could like still work on my phone and go travelling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's brilliant. Like, yeah.
So yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
Enjoying it. But yeah, so that was just an example of something that happened at uni. I went into a bit more detail on that unreleased episode. It's so like it's so mysterious because it's unreleased, isn't it? But it will hopefully be out there soon, so you'll hear more information on that. But that's where I'm at with that at the moment. That's all I've been doing basically, just hot tubs and posting some pictures online.
Yeah, and I've been doing this editing and adminning for this company, which it's fun. Do you know what? It is fun. Like I've been making videos for them. They do virtual work experience, and I've been editing all the videos for them. Yeah.
So how much do you do like with the freelance stuff? Like how much do you actually like do you do a certain amount of hours a week, or like how much?
It's literally that they will literally just say to me, I have, I don't know, 15 videos. Can you edit them together? Or can you? They do a lot of online open days, and so they'll say, here's 30 online open events that have happened, and I have to get them, edit them all, and then re-upload them. And then obviously you get paid the hourly rate or whatever. Or they'll say, here's sometimes it's like, here's a script of all the videos that this person's recorded to this script, and they'll need editing, things adding to them, sound effects, music, everything needs fixing, and then I'll subtitle them and then send them back. So, it keeps me busy, and all the skills that I learned at uni, editing audio and editing video, has really come in useful. That's so good. That is really good. Yeah. Nice one. Yeah.
Nice.
It's good.
I was wondering if you had like a certain like it's obviously freelance. It's not like a set hours or anything like that. So it's quite interesting that you've cleared that up.
Yeah.
Because I'd be curious to know how many people actually like the idea of freelance. I feel like it's such a big term, a wide term. Do you know what I mean? Like it can mean many different things. So in my head, I'm glad that you've cleared that up as to what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, it's steady, but I mean, just looking at like all my, because obviously you have to track how many hours you've worked so you can invoice them at the end of the month. Just looking back, like this month I haven't actually done that many days. I've had quite a lot of downtime and stuff like that, which has been good because it's meant that I can look at the podcast, edit the podcast, and then do other things as well. I've been still applying for jobs, might be going back to camp in the summer.
Oh, go on, tell us about that.
Oh yeah, so basically, we'll talk more about how lockdown is sort of affecting us and things like that. I do want to go into sort of the mental health aspect, because I think we did touch on it in season 1, didn't we?
Yes.
And so it'd be nice to go back and to think about that. But basically, I've just been struggling a little bit. I've been applying for a lot of jobs and haven't got anything back. I've been getting a lot of feedback from people that work in the industry, and despite all like their help and despite a lot of effort, I still haven't really found anything that I really want to do. And so I thought, you know what? I fancy going. We haven't been abroad this year either, and I was like, I really fancy going abroad. And camp was a lot of fun, so I just messaged the director, just sort of saying like, if you have a space, would I be able to come back as a lifeguard? And he was like, yeah, sure, 100%, definitely. And I've literally just spoken to him on the day that we were recording this, literally just before I spoke to you, Jamie, and he was like really confident that they're gonna go back. Yeah, so
Did they not do Camp America last summer, I'm guessing?
no, so all the camps, some of them did. The day, so there's like 2 different types of camp. There's a sleepaway camp where the kids stay there for a period of time, normally about 2 weeks, and then there's day camps, and the day camps are where they travel in, spend the day there, and then go back to their home. And the sleepaway camps didn't open, but the day camps did open. So the one that I work for, French Woods, didn't open because it's a sleepaway camp, and so the director's really confident that this year, you know, they've got. He said that the coronavirus cases in America, he lives in Florida at the moment, but the camp is in New York, and he said that in his area there's been practically none. Because you know, America's such a big country, isn't it? And it's so vast. Like, they've had a lot of deaths, but a lot of them have been in the big metropolitan areas. And he said in Florida, like, there isn't a lockdown. He was really shocked when I said to him, "Oh, we've been in lockdown since this one started just after Christmas, didn't it?" And I was like, and one of the MPs, the health secretary's just gone onto the news to say that he doesn't think it's going to be lifted for a while, and he was shocked that we were still in a lockdown, because he's from New Zealand originally, and New Zealand's fully open, isn't it?
Oh, New Zealand's they're incredible. It's crazy. It's so interesting as well, because I watched obviously the Biden. How do you pronounce it? I've only ever seen it written down.
Inauguration.
Inauguration, yeah. I'm not really big on American politics, but I'm trying to get into it, and I was really enjoying obviously Biden the other day. And I was like, it's crazy, like how many people are still. I mean, I know they're all in masks, but like America just seems so different to us in terms of the pandemic now. So it's just, hopefully you'll be able to go to camp this summer. My plan hopefully is to still travel as well, which is why I was saying about the social media job would be good for that sort of field. But I spoke to my friend Jade, who I've mentioned before on this podcast, who's out in China, and she's been absolutely fine since April with the pandemic. She went out to China to work at Disney English, and then that got shut down because of the pandemic and things. And then now she's working as like an A-level teacher in a Chinese school. I don't know. Should be really interesting to get on the podcast one day.
Yeah, she really would. If we can get in contact with her.
Oh God, yeah, I can barely get in contact with her. But yeah, so it's just crazy. In terms of mental health, I think this lockdown is incredibly different to the first lockdown. Due to the fact that, I mean, the weather and daylight is 2 massive things that obviously with a winter lockdown is just going to absolutely throw you. I mean, me and Darren, my brother, for those of you that don't know, were just chatting last night, and we were like, oh, do you remember in the first lockdown? And I was like, look at how tan you are in this picture. And I was like, oh, all you did basically was come downstairs and sunbathe for hours in the garden, and then we'd be up, like, and it would still be light at 9 o'clock, and it would all be like, and everyone would be like, you could have a drink, and it was like being on like a and because it was fresh as well, it was like being on like a paid holiday in a way to sort of
Yeah.
stay at home. So there was like a element of like, even though obviously it was rubbish, but because of how nice the weather was, I think it just sort of gave it that extra bit of, oh, okay, well this could be worse. You know, we're at home with our families. You know, we're enjoying the sun. And then this lockdown now, I think it's just got to the point where a lot of people are like, well, you know, we a lot of people have felt like they've been in a lockdown since last March, even though we did have that like, you know, that bit in the summer where it was like a bit of eased. And I feel like now it's gotta be, it's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just so hard.
I've found that I'm living with people, so I'm not living by myself. But it's so different living up here in this lockdown than it was being at home.
Yeah,
It's just I feel almost like cooped up. I am on the fifth floor of an apartment building as well. So, you know, like to get fresh air, I've got a little balcony, or I need to go actually outside. Whereas when I was at home, I could go into the front garden or the back garden. You know, there's different rooms in the house I could go into to sort of like shake it up a little bit. But at the moment, there's kitchen, living room, and my bedroom, and that's it, and the bathroom whenever I need a wee. But apart from that, it's like I feel like, almost like a caged animal. And
yeah,
I really feel for people who've been in like a one bed or a studio or something like that for this amount of time, because it's really it's quite taxing on your brain just to look at the same four walls. Like I edit in my bedroom, my computer and my desk and everything is in my bedroom. So if they give me a massive edit, I wake up, do a little workout in the living room, and then sit in my bedroom all day, eat my
yeah,
dinner, and then go to bed in the same room.
yeah. I know, it's crazy. Like yeah, I obviously been in a situation where I've been able to go around the house and I'm still at home, so
Mm.
that's been nice. But just going off that, the one thing I did forget to mention that I have also done is I've luckily this time around, TV and films been able to carry on producing,
Yeah.
obviously under strict COVID rules. And I had to go to Wales for a TV job. And I had to spend 2 nights in a hotel in Wales, and I had to have a COVID test on the first morning. Then I had to go straight back to the hotel and basically isolate in the hotel until the next morning, then go for another COVID test, then isolate again over the weekend, then film on the Monday. And
Wow.
it was just like that. That's why I was totally relating to what you're saying there about being in a studio, because just being with those four walls was so different to being in like a house situation,
Yeah.
where you can get up and like change the room up a bit, like, oh, I'll go sit in the dining room, or I'll go, you
Yeah.
know, you really take that for granted.
You
And then
really do, yeah. Just being able to be like, we've got a little room off the living room, which is kind of like, I don't know what we use it for really. There's a little sofa bed in there. My nan stays there when she could come round, because I mean she can't at the moment, but before the pandemic she did. And I just went to sit in there, and I do a little bit of stuff on my laptop there, edit the podcast in there, and then maybe go into the dining room. And when my mum was working from home, I'd go and sit with her for a bit and have a little chat. And now it's just like I sit in my room. However, my flatmates also work from home, so it's quite nice that they're in. And if I do want to chat, I can just pop into their room, or bump into them in the kitchen, or
yeah,
So I'm not by myself, which is good. And you can go for walks. So I live by the quays, so it's nice to go for a walk around the quays and all that.
oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're listening from Manchester, you might see Matt walking around the quays.
Oh, you'll see me every day. Literally, if you live anywhere near the quays or you walk near the quays, you will see me walking around. I've got literally every day I've gone for a walk just to like get some fresh air.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like yeah, it's just. But then at the same time, like it's giving people a platform and a chance to talk about mental health more openly. So that's a good thing, I suppose. It's come out of this whole pandemic. Just always trying to look at the positives.
Hmm.
But and yeah, going back to obviously what we want to do, like in terms of radio, carrying on well, as it has done really, but like studios being open, being allowed to operate, and TV and film being allowed to carry on. I'm just so glad that's actually a thing, because I don't mind going and getting like 2 COVID tests and having to isolate, because at the end of the day it just means that you can do what you want to do, which is what we want to do.
Hmm.
So yeah, but at the same time, bring on the day when it all goes back to normal and you could just sort of turn up to a job without having to do a COVID test and that.
Oh my God,
but
tell me about it.
but It's what we do to protect everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's just really interesting how the world is at the moment, and it's just interesting how people are coping. Because also another thing that I've noticed with this pandemic is it's really good, Matt, that you've said that you're still doing exercise. Because during the first lockdown, I was doing Insanity, which I don't know if you guys have heard of that. If you're listening to this and you've heard of that, then you know what it's like. It is 40 minutes of pure like cardio. It's ridiculous. It's meant to be one of the hardest workouts. And I was pushing myself through that. I was doing Slimming World meals. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get healthy and that. And then now, because of the weather and because of Christmas and because of like it just being winter, there's a lot of people like I just know that haven't just carried on with the workouts. Basically, they're just
Have you not?
no,
Oh,
no, I haven't. But I know we should, and I encourage it, and fair play to you. But honestly, I couldn't like. It's just so mentally draining to be like to be in a lockdown in the winter and then like having to force yourself to do work. I know it makes you feel good in the long run, but yes, that's one thing I got to admit that I haven't carried on with really. But I've gone back to healthy eating now, which is good because there was a time. There was a time leading up to Christmas where I was like, "Oh, I'll stuff it," you know.
yeah. I think everyone does over Christmas Day, don't they?
Yeah. Well, this started in like November, but yeah.
Early Christmas.
Yeah.
Do you know, I've actually carried on working out since we started the pandemic. I sort of just fell into a routine, and I found that it really helped with, like, it's nice to, I get up in the morning, I do it in the morning, and then it's done and it's over and done with. And, you know, exercise gives you that little boost of, is it endorphins?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy. And then it sort of sets me up in a good mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah, because and you've already achieved something. Like,
Yeah.
You know, at the moment, like you're like, especially for us and a lot of people in our generation, like leaving uni and stuff, you're sort of feeling that the days are just ticking on and we're not getting to where we want to get and we can't do what we want to do, and it's like that can be mentally draining. But if you can just do one thing a day, whether that be exercise or just something that makes you feel like you've achieved something, I think that's definitely something good for your mental health.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's like a tick off. Even if I do nothing else for the rest of the day, if I work out in the morning and then go for a walk, like, it's a good 2 hours of my day gone. So, like, when you're counting down the hours till you can go to bed.
Yeah.
One of those days. So it is nice just to break it up a little bit, and yeah. But it is just this lockdown. I don't know why, but this one has been the hardest for me.
Yeah, I think I hate January usually, which is why we always, like last year we went to Vienna. The year before we went to Poland. That's why I always I always try and encourage like some kind of nice group trip or something in January. So when you've got Christmas out of the way, you've got something to look forward to when the weather's rubbish and it's all a bit like, oh no one's got any money, no one wants to do anything, it's cold, So January usually is pretty. I hate it anyway. So I feel that's probably got a lot to do with it, to be fair. And the fact that it's like it was a new year and then 4 days in it was like, right, we're in a lockdown. It's like, well, and it's just the whole idea of, how much I love New Year, but like the whole idea of going into a new year with the prospects of like what you want to do with the year, and then you just sat here like you can't do anything. It's just that's also, I reckon, maybe something to do with it.
Maybe.
As to why you're struggling a bit more.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I have missed our trips. I was speaking to one of our friends, and I was saying, we need to just as soon as we can, as soon as this is clear and it's safe, and I just want to go somewhere. If I haven't been able to go to camp for whatever reason, then I just would need to get away. It's just refreshing, isn't it? It's like it's what you work for, is to enjoy yourself. And at the moment, I'm just working just to live. I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to just be living to work, basically. I look forward to getting those emails or those Slack messages being like, oh, will you be able to do this for us, or will you be able to edit this?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, keep saving, Matt, because as soon as they open those borders, we are out of here.
We are.
We ain't coming back, I tell you. I'm just gonna keep going. Like that's my idea. Just keep saving and saving, and then just go traveling. That's what I want to do.
Go traveling and then earn money as we're going. Well, we can like, I don't know. We'll figure
That'd
out
be
a
so
way.
good because then we'll take helpful graduates on the road.
Yeah.
Everyone will love that.
Oh, do you know what we could? You could do your social media. I could take my laptop and edit on my laptop, and then we could carry on working.
And then we could tell people stories from like, oh, okay, we're in like
Vietnam.
we're in Vietnam right now, guys, and this happened. Like, yeah. If you guys want to hear that, then get in touch with us on socials, and like, you know, we can start a GoFundMe, and me and Matt can go traveling.
Yeah, or Patreon. We could start. I've been listening to a lot of other podcasts, and they have Patreons, and then they give their members like sneak peeks and behind the scenes and things. So if it's that is something that you want to see, if you want to see how we record these, especially recording it, Jamie's down south and I'm up north. If that is something that you want, let us know. Speaking of, we have a new social platform, and we haven't actually really been using it that much because I kind of forgot I set it up, to be honest, but we have a Twitter.
Have we?
Yeah, we've got Twitter. So,
thank God. I thought you were going to say TikTok then.
No. Although I have made a TikTok, and it is very funny. However, that is not the point. You can go on Twitter and you can follow us at HWG Podcast. And if you go on there, drop us a follow, DM us, reply to some of our tweets when Jamie puts them out. And yeah, we just want to get more involved with everyone because it's been so nice to have all the Instagram messages and things like that from people saying we love what you're doing. And so many people relating to what we're talking about. And I hope that people are relating to what we're talking about in this episode and understanding why we haven't been putting out episodes like we were last year, because it has just been a really challenging time, hasn't it, for everyone?
Yeah, it's been a good time to sort of recharge, rethink, and gather some content ideas, which me and Matt are doing. So we are going to come back bigger and better with this podcast, and we want to get in touch with you guys. Like Matt said, drop us a message on Instagram and Facebook and tell us and Twitter, sorry, and tell us what you guys have been up to during this lockdown and how if you guys are on the job search. We want to hear from people that we've heard from before, but also new people.
Yeah.
Keep us updated. We want to hear from you guys. We miss you guys.
We really do. It's so nice to have like messages from people and to hear from other people that isn't just our own voices,
Yeah. So and it gives us more content and things that we can then talk about as well. Obviously, the idea of a travel podcast eventually is hopefully on the cards, Matt. But for now, I'm in my bedroom. Matt's in his bedroom up in Manchester, and it took us about an hour to figure out how to do this properly.
Yeah.
So we could be here today to deliver to you guys. So hopefully that makes you realise as to why we found it a bit hard to record podcasts at the moment. And obviously keeping with social distancing, I've not been able to see Matt, which has been very upsetting.
It has. This is the most contact we've had in a while, actually, isn't it?
It has, and it's nice to just have that catch up and talk. And that's another thing as well, which I'm not going to lie, being completely honest. I've not, and I know a lot of people are in the same boat. It's not just me. Not everyone doesn't just hate me, but I've not heard from people as much as I did in the first lockdown, which is a shame. But also, it's just probably the way it is. There's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot of things going on, but it's nice to sort of stay in contact, try and stay in touch as much as possible.
Yeah.
I know everyone's pretty much had enough of quizzes. I know I have. Of like Zoom quizzes, but just something that you guys can do just to sort of stay in touch and just plan for the future, hopefully, in the hope that we can do things again soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so. Yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it all.
I mean, it is just difficult, Another lockdown. Some countries aren't having lockdowns. Some countries are completely back to normal. It's just a weird time. And like the camp director said to me, he was like, "I hope we never have to live through another pandemic in our lifetimes."
Oh yeah.
Because honestly, it is so difficult, man. You talk about pandemics. I remember learning about them in school, and it was like, oh my god, no, thank you.
I feel like if we did though, hopefully people everyone would know, be a bit more better equipped. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of we hadn't had a pandemic like this since 1920 or something. So the world's moved on a lot since then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting though.
It is.
But
So that
it's
is
still history.
Yeah, and I mean they'll be teaching this for years to come, won't they? And I can imagine an essay question, someone doing like A-level politics or something, and it'll be like, well, so what did the UK government get wrong in its handling of the coronavirus pandemic? And then you have to write a massive essay or something.
Yeah.
And our kids will be going, Dad, what happened?
We'll be like, well.
Well, yeah, we lived it.
And it'll be like, let me introduce you to Zoom and all those other things that have just come about in the past year.
Yeah. But anyway, that has been our lockdown 3.0 special of the Helpful Graduates podcast.
Yeah, it's so good to be back, and it's just so nice, isn't it, Matt, to just sort of speak to each other on this platform and to just in a way, like me and Matt, when we were setting it up, I said to him, you know, oh, how you been then and things, you know, like starting conversation. I was like, actually, no, save it for the podcast. So this has just been genuinely like really raw, just me and Matt having a conversation about what we've been up to, and it's so nice. So yeah, you guys keep in touch. Tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, and if you are struggling, then let us know. You know, we'll talk to you. I've got loads of free time. Jamie's got free time. I'd love to chat to people and to learn like how people have coped, or if you're not coping, just to have a chat. You know, everyone's got to be out for each other, haven't they? So yeah, if you do want to give us drop us a DM on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook message, or even on the podcast, you can subscribe and leave us a comment and things like that. We can get back to you.
Definitely. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
In other news, one last thing. I got a snowman today.
Did you?
So yeah, I might put him on the old story on the Helpful Graduates so everyone can see him because I'm proud of him.
Okay. We didn't have any snow here, and it's really upsetting.
So Matt, you need to come back down south.
I can't. Locked out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, Jamie. Thanks for being here.
Turning up.
Yeah, turning up, having a chat. It's been nice to get some things off my chest as well. So yeah, this has been really nice, and I'm glad that we're redoing it, being creative again, using our platform to spread our love and our message and all that.
Yes, it's been refreshing, I think, is the word for me. Like, I've really enjoyed it. So thank you, and hopefully we'll see you all in a club soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the meantime, I'm Jamie.
I'm Matt.
And you've been listening to Help, We're Graduates, Lockdown 3.0 special.
Woo, bye.
Bye, see you soon.